So we're going to be taking a look at a game called Cropia, and the Steam store page says build and manage every aspect of your farm in Cropia, cultivate crops, care for animals, fish, mine resources and explore diverse environments, all while supporting and expanding the growth of the local community. Hire the town citizen to help you work effectively and efficiently. And I'm going to say it's definitely an interesting game, and I want to give a massive thank you to Keymailer for giving me a key to play. So this game started off a little bit weird. You make your tools, like you craft them by gathering resources in your farm, and then you start doing your farming. You work in squares in this game, and I think that's probably the best part about it, is that you can't really mess up making a plot because you literally work in squares. But then there is grass on your farm. It can drop materials, like you can get ginger root, you can even find worms for fishing, but it's very finicky to pick things up using this square system, and you have to make sure you get your character facing the right way. They will never automatically face in front of them, so you're constantly just fidgeting around trying to get them in the right spot to pick up things. So there is always little bits of like micro movement in order to collect the things that come from grass, and this grass grows back at an alarming rate. I think I cleared out half of my farm and woke up the next day and it had all respawned. So you can never really clear it and have all of that extra space. But I mean, it's not too much of a problem. I just kind of wanted to use that to explain that sometimes the square system they work in, like the tile system, can be a little bit finicky. But I do really like the way they do their farms. You plant the seeds, like you go to a farm shop, you buy the seeds, you then plant them, you water them, and after a couple of days they're ready to harvest. And also once you've harvested a crop 5 times, it will die, so you have to rip it out and start all over again with new seeds. But the item selection, that kind of, when you look at something, you're going to select that to perform a task on. So you look at a piece of grass with a sickle, you're going to cut it. That will always prioritize dead crops, so that last harvest of a seed becomes twice as long, and it's very, very irritating on top of the energy system, which I really do not like. You do have a gym that's in the town, so you can work on your energy and improving it and stuff. But when you are planting crops, when you're collecting water, so you're having to run back to your water tower, and when you're traveling quite far, you're going to quickly notice, for at least the early game, that energy is a pain to deal with. And you do get workers to help on your farm, but you're limited to 1 worker until you earn enough money to go into town and see the mayor, at which point your limit then increases to 2 workers. You start off very, very small in this game, and your energy will run out quite quick, and if you completely run out of energy, you will fall asleep and it will force you into the next day. But then one of the biggest problems in the game, in my opinion, is that crops and animals are locked behind XP levels, which would be fine if XP worked how it usually does in games. But for some reason, I have no idea why, in Cropia, you do not earn XP for anything besides quest completion. So if you want some of those higher tier animals like cows and stuff, or if you want some high-end crops, you are forced into things like talking to people in town, learning how to mine, and whatever else they want you to do. And I really feel that games like this should give you the freedom to do what you want when you want, and like unlock those high-end crops as long as you've earned the XP, which you should be earning by doing almost any task you want to do. So you could basically get, say you want a square, like you want a 36 tile plot, you can do all of the harvesting and everything, and you will not get a single bit of XP for it. And not only that, they have fishing in this game, and it's one of my favourite things to do in games. And after 2.5 hours of playing, I had only just got to the very beginning of the mining sort of tutorial quest, and fishing wasn't in sight at all. So it can take you a little while to unlock different things to do in the game. And I believe I stopped playing at like rep level 6, so I was nowhere near the higher end, or I'm going to say even the mid tier of crops. And I thought that it might just be I haven't been to the fishing store, because I think it's at the beach house they sell the fishing rods. But I went there early to try and get my hands on a fishing rod to have that freedom to actually go fishing, because I really wanted to do it in this game and see what it was like. But yeah, in that beach house in the store there was absolutely nothing to buy, and it put a downer on an already mediocre experience with the game. There's some parts of this game which are really well thought out, really well done, and then there are just quite a few parts that are like, this really shouldn't be in the game. And yes, granted, Cropia is an early access title, but they said it's going to last about 3 to 6 months. That's how long it's going to take them until full release. They have said there is a possibility it'll take longer, depending on feedback and things like that. But pretty much all they've got planned to improve this game is to just add more to it. So you might get some new animals, you might get new crops, and that's pretty much it. So the general sort of core gameplay is already implemented. And this game literally releases tomorrow, the 28th of October, and I feel that it needed more time in the oven so they could really think about gameplay mechanics and how the game functions. Because to me, it's got a really cool premise, but the execution has not been the best at all. And I do apologise if this seems overly negative, but I'm a massive fan of farming sims. I just kind of expected a little bit more from the game, like a more fun and rewarding gameplay loop. Because another thing is, in this game, the more, say, farming you do, the more foraging you do, you're going to level up those skills. And I reached level 2, I think it was in farming, and I don't think it made any difference to the game at all. I didn't notice any difference. There was no notification to say I had leveled up. I just saw it at like the end of day report. So while I did only reach level 2 in one skill, there is a chance that improving your level in those skills does absolutely nothing to gameplay whatsoever. It's simply just a number. So yeah, there's quite a few things that are, I'm going to say, they feel out of place within a game like this. But I do have one last thing in regards to my opinion. If any developer watches this video, please make chicken eggs more worthwhile. You should not have to wait days and days on end for your chickens to lay eggs, and they're worth $3 each. 36 tiles of tomatoes, which grow each and every day, are almost worth $1,300, which is a stupid difference, and it kind of just makes chickens, and if the sheep and cows or anything like it, it just makes animals in general pointless. But yeah, that is my opinion, my thoughts and stuff on Cropia. As I said, I think it's got a decent premise, but the execution, like some of the gameplay mechanics and stuff, need work on. And on that note, we are going to leave that video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about this game in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.